Alright, so I don't know which HP model laptop this is, but this is an HP EliteBook. It's having issues where the power button lights up, the keyboard lights up for a little bit, and then it shuts off and does nothing. The keyboard shuts off, the power button light stays on, but nothing comes on the screen at all. So not too sure what's going on here. We're just going to open it up and see if we can figure it out. Okay, again, I don't know which model this is. Hopefully somebody will figure it out, or hopefully I'll figure it out once I get this more opened up. Right, looks like it uses some Torx screwdriver bits, so let's see what size. Is that T8? T6 is too small. Let's try T8. Yeah, okay, so it's using T8 or Torx 8 screws. Alright, so we're going to remove all the screws. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk, and the pattern I remove them. So there's nothing there. Okay, so we got 4 going along the hinge area, we got 3 going along here, and then we got 4 more going along the front there. Okay, so we'll remove all of those. 4, 3, 4. Okay, got those 4 out, and we'll get these 3. Okay, and third one here. Then we got the 4 down here. Okay, so now we got all the screws out. Let's go ahead and pop this out. The way I do that is I get my fingernails in this gap and then I push with my thumb here, but it looks like this cover actually comes out really easily. So there we go. All right, one thing I'm gonna do, oh shoot, I think I already found the issue. You see that? Liquid residue right there. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect the CMOS BIOS battery here, and then we're gonna also disconnect the main battery. Let's actually get a screenshot or a thumbnail here, so I'm going to center that. All right, we'll give it a little bit. Whatever this model laptop is, the battery is B, it looks like BO, not a B0, BO04XL. All right, so yeah, BO04XL. Okay, so there we go, and let's go ahead and get the battery out. So the battery is, we're going to have to use JS1 screwdriver to remove the screws. Okay, so we'll get that. Then we got these 2 here. This one and this one. We got this one up here. And this one over here. Alright, and then we got one more down here. Lots of screws holding this thing in place. Okay, so now let's go ahead and lift the battery up. It has this short connector, so to remove that, I turn it this way. We have the wings of this connector. Let me actually zoom in. Okay, and then I use my fingernails to kind of just wiggle and pull that out. There we go, and here's the battery. Okay, so we got the battery out. All right, we'll set this aside. Okay, so there we go. Then we'll flip this back over, and then we'll clean this up. Okay, so it looks like there's some corrosion on the connector here as well. Where'd it go? Oh, so the power connector at certain angles, you can actually see some corrosion there. So I guess we're gonna have to maybe pop the whole motherboard out. I don't know. Sometimes cleaning off the corrosion is enough to fix it, but underneath the motherboard has corrosion as well. I'm gonna open this up, and we're going to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on, so you want to do this. It's only 15 seconds. Okay. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so we got all of that disconnected. It looks like there's some corrosion on the CMOS BIOS battery connector as well, so I'm going to try and clean that off. Sometimes cleaning the shorts on there is enough to get it to work. There was some here, but I already scrubbed it off. So yeah, it looks like there's a lot of liquid damage on this thing. Alright, and it looks like there's some on the keyboard connector area, so we'll clean that as well. we'll get this out. All right, once we get that screw out, we'll lift this up. All right, so we'll get that out, and yeah, this looks like a M.2 SATA SSD. Does it say here? It doesn't say. Normally there's a little logo here that says M.2 SATA. It has 2 notches. Most of those are M.2 SATAs, but sometimes it's a PCIe NVMe SSD. The model number is CV1-8B512-HP. So if you want to look it up, you can do that. It doesn't say specifically here. At least I don't see one. It doesn't specify PCIe or SATA. So we'll put that back down. All right, let's go ahead and start removing other components. You got the LCD LVDS connector here. We're gonna go ahead and grab that. This should be fine because screen came up just fine. Oh, actually, no, screen doesn't come up. So pop this out. So this is probably, could possibly be bad. No, it looks okay. Okay, brush that off a little bit. Fingerprint sensors right here. We're gonna flip that latch and pull that cable out. And then we got the connector here. The touchpad seems to have 2 connectors, so we're gonna flip the latch up and disconnect both. Okay, disconnect that and that. All right, come on, come back out. There we go. It keeps falling back inside, so let me bend that up a little bit. All right, then we got the keyboard connector here. We're gonna flip that latch up and we're gonna get this cable out. Okay, and this also has some corrosion on it, so we're gonna have to clean that. I'm probably gonna have to use some rubbing alcohol for this, so let's get that and let's try and clean this up. Okay, and all right, looks like clean that up better as well. Okay, then we'll get this out. All right, looks good. All right, we got a lot of cables to work with. We're gonna have to remove the wireless antennas here. So there's number 2 connected to the white number 2 arrow, and then number 1 connected to the black arrow. I don't know why they put a black label for that and a white label for the other one, but let's go ahead and get the antennas out. So the way I get that out is I go from the tail and pull straight up, and then this one pull straight up. Okay, so we'll get this out, wiggle that. Okay, then pull this one out and pull this one out and get this out and get this out. All right, so we got all of that out, and then we're gonna get out this cable as well. This one, usually what I find is easiest is you push from the side and lift, just like that. Same thing with this one. Okay, and then once you wiggle it, you can pop it out. And there we go. Okay, so now we got all the plugs disconnected, it looks like. So let's go ahead now and start removing screws and pop the whole board out. There might be some corrosion under this, so we'll check that later, but give me a second. All right, let's go ahead and remove the motherboard. So there's a lot of screws here. Again, you want to keep them all in order. You don't want to mix them up because they can be different size, shape, and length, and mixing them up could cause some more damage, so be very careful with that. Okay, so far they look to be about the same length, but again, it's always best to be better safe than sorry. Okay, you also got this connector here we got to remove as well. Same thing with the wings, just wiggle it to pull it out. It looks like speaker connector. All right, we'll get this screw out as well. That's in the center of the motherboard. I don't know if that was holding anything. Interesting. Okay, and we can remove the wireless card as well, since there's some liquid damage in the area. Maybe this connector might be toast. It looks fine. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Then what else? Keyboard cable is going through the motherboard, so be very careful when lifting the motherboard out. You don't want to tear that. All right, another screw over here. another screw down here. And another screw down here. Alright, so now we can go ahead and lift this up, I believe. Gotta wiggle it, be very careful, be very gentle. Wiggle this, there's cables getting caught, so you wanna go slow, okay? And, oh, looks like this cable also threads through, okay? Slowly pick it up, and here we go. And, that was here. So, is that liquid damage? It looks like there was something sticky, like an adhesive here, but I don't know what, because the cable for the keyboard is here, and then that adhesive would be here. I don't see any liquid residue damage there, so hopefully that's okay. There's a little dust here, we'll brush that off. Alright, but other than that, it looks pretty clean, other than this adhesive residue there and the dust. Okay, so I think we should be good. Okay, oh, there's a little residue looking stuff at the power button there, or underneath the power button. So we'll clean that off. Clean that. And my only other worry is this splotch there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heatsink off. Let's set this aside. Oh, there was a little feather inside as well. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. We're going to take the heatsink off and we'll remove that. Okay, so let's get these 4 screws off. Be careful not to push down too hard. You don't want to damage the logic board, motherboard, removing this. Okay, so we've got that. Then we can carefully remove this. Usually you kind of have to wiggle it. It's like to twist it a little bit because the thermal paste sticks to it. It's being extra stuck, so okay, there we go. It looks like one screw was kind of stuck. And now we can look underneath. And RAM, I believe this might be the RAM or video memory soldered to the motherboard. I think it's the RAM. And I don't know, there's a little splotch of like a brownish thing there. And there's some liquid damage there, as you can see. What happened? Uh-oh, give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let's go ahead and continue cleaning this. I don't know why my dog yelped like that. Maybe he got static shocked by something. Alright, so we're going to try and clean this off, and hopefully that will get it working. There's a lot of thermal paste on here, like excess. Usually it's just on the middle die, but it's going outside as well a lot. That's kind of too much. But let's go ahead and... Oh, did this burn? Actually, this area here looks a little burnt. You see around it? That looks burnt. So I think this motherboard is fried. The other weird thing is this little piece is going diagonal. It shouldn't be going diagonal. And it's actually also on top of the other pieces there. So that's not right. And that's probably why it's dead. Yeah, so most likely if I put this back together, it's not going to work because this piece here is fried. So I'm going to show the customer that. And we'll put this back together. Is there a motherboard model number here so I can know exactly which model this laptop is? Here you go. Board wall. That's a long, what is that long number? 6050A2736001-MB-AX6 HSTNN-I68C. Alright, so hopefully that information will be enough for me to look it up. I'm not going to redo the thermal paste, but normally you'd clean this off, put a new thing of thermal paste about the like a size of a rice across the length of this, and then when you push this down, it will spread it out. But again, it looks like the thing is fried, so Yeah. I'm also not too sure how it would stick back down because it looks like it burnt part of it. So we'll put this back together. I doubt it's going to turn on. It's probably just going to do the same thing as before. But again, since the motherboard is fried, it's very likely not going to be worth repairing. They would need a replacement motherboard or someone that knows how to jump the melted piece, assuming that's the only issue with it. Yeah, put a jumper wire to fix it. So there's that, and that other, all those little bits of corrosion along the motherboard. So they didn't know why it was like that, but I guess now I can at least tell them it was liquid damage. And let's get this thing all back together. Okay, again, the tricky part is these two cables go through a little slot, so you gotta get it through. This one's the keyboard and the other one is the keyboard backlight cable, so you gotta push it through as you kind of lower it down. There we go, like that. And then, oops, let me zoom out. And then the motherboard needs to go in at an angle, so get all these cables out of the way. Get this out of the way. Okay, we gotta go in at an angle here, like this. All right. Oops, I accidentally got the cable to pop back out. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're gonna lower this back down. And it looks like, okay, you need to make sure the headphone jack goes into this hole first. And then we're gonna lower this. You do have to kind of flex it a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the middle up while pushing this down, because otherwise the board is too long to go in. So you do have to hold it out like that and bow it outwards. Okay, make sure it's not going in right. Come on. Make sure the USB-C port goes in properly. It should go into that hole and extend into there. Maybe I have to take the SSD out first, unless I'm accidentally crunching some cable under there. Hopefully not. Okay, so let's get the SSD out here. Okay. Oh, oops, I am crunching a cable under there. So there's this cable that's up there in that corner. Tap back out. There we go. Drop that in. Oh, it's still not going down all the way. Come on. There's this raised metal piece here that this motherboard needs to go in, and it's not lining up right for some reason. Come on. Why isn't it going in? It looks like it's lined up right. Let me hold it up. Oh, it needs to go further over to this side. So is this not lining up right? Do I got something caught here? And there we go. Okay. And now this cable's caught underneath again, so we gotta pull that back out. Do some tweezers. There we go. All right, so it's all lined up now. Hopefully we got everything in place, but again, because that thing is burnt, it's very likely not going to turn on. So we're gonna push that to click it back into place. Make sure to flip the latches up for these cables, get it in. All right, flip that latch down. Okay, now let's get all these screws in. Is this one not lining up somewhere? Am I crushing another cable? Okay, I almost forgot. There's the speaker cable there as well. Make sure to get that out. Just wondering why it wasn't going down all the way. Okay, put that out. Perfect. Line that up. And pinch that in. Also, make sure you don't put this cable upside down. You can see this is like the solid plastic. don't put it in upside down where you can see the pins. Okay, and you can actually also tell from the pins up here, it's towards the top of the connector. All right, get that in, pinch that together. All right, then we'll get these in, and hopefully now everything is in properly and not getting crushed. Seems like it's good. Right? Is this raised a little high or something? Let me see here. Oh, that might be a little high. So it might be I didn't put it in at enough of an angle. So this side is not completely down. So I'm gonna get that, hold that up, and slot that in. Man, this board is kind of difficult to put back. It has all these little sliding mechanisms that you gotta get it in. Is this supposed to go underneath or on top? Pretty sure it's supposed to go underneath because on top it doesn't go down enough. So we have to pull this back and slot it in at an angle this way. This is going to be difficult. Okay, there we go. Slotted it in at an angle and it's good. Now I have to make sure all these other cables are back on top. This is such a pain. Okay, there we go. That's in, that's in. And then get this cable in, make sure that latch is pulled back. Then hold that in place and slide it down. Good. Okay, this shows it's for the keyboard. So we'll put that screw back in. Oh yeah, it holds it onto the keyboard. Okay. CMOS BIOS battery. There's some more corrosion and burnt stuff here as well. So yeah, definitely it's gonna be dead. Like here, you can actually see that chip, like those pieces are kind of melted together. All right, we'll get this cable, plug that back in. Don't twist it upside down. You want the little metal pins actually face up on this one. Keyboard connector, latch up. Get that into place. All right, that's in. Oops, we trapped this underneath again. Get that out again. Did I? Oh, now I have to take this keyboard screw back out. All right. Okay, get this back out. Go. Keyboard screw back in. Okay, get this cable carefully into place. This one's being a pain. Come on. There we go. Then latch that down. Then we got this cable. All right, latch that down. Perfect. Okay, then we're gonna get all these screws back in. This one. This one. So this connector goes underneath the housing, so make sure you put that in right. This one down here. All right, got this one over here. Wireless card goes in at an angle like this. Okay, and then push it all the way in. Goes down. Get this screw in. Alright, we'll get this screw in. Get this screw in. And this screw in. Get the SSD in. Alright, get this screwed down. Go. Alright, then we're going to get this cable in. So this one, you got to go in order. So this one goes to follow that. Then you put the second one in. Then you start with the second one to go here. Then you do the first one into this latch. And you continue to go with both of them. Right, then you put this one first. come on, out of the way. Alright, then you put this one after it. Follow the track again, and then you gotta put the one above first. Okay, then the second one. There we go. Then you put the one above again, and the one below. Alright, there we go. Then we just get these antennas back in. So the antennas can be a little difficult. You gotta line it up, make sure it's lined up by moving it around. You can see now it's stuck. Then you can go ahead and click it down. Alright, second one, same thing. Line that up and click it down. Alright, so there we go. We got all of that into place. Let's zoom back out. Okay, got that in. Now we gotta get the battery back in. I think we reconnected everything else already. Yep. Alright, line that up. Then use the wings, pull it in. Good. Put that into place. And then let's get all these screws back in. So got this one here. I can already see the keyboard is lighting up, so that's not a good sign. That means it's turning itself on, and it shouldn't. Alright, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Get all the screws back in, put it back together, and we're good to go. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, and let's get these T8 screws back in. Alright. If you can't contribute to the channel that way, it would be very helpful if you could watch a few of my other videos and like them as well, and also comment, because YouTube likes to see engagement in the content. So yeah, other than that, let's get these all in and we're good to go. We'll see if anything changed. I'm pretty sure it's just going to do the same thing, even though I cleaned out a lot of the corrosion because of that burnt melted piece. So yeah, all right, let's get the rest of these in. Okay. So. Come on, get in there. All right. Also, if you like my review content and other content that's not computer or electronics repair related, I am making a spin-off channel to split it off, so that way the content, if you're interested in, isn't going to like get jumbled with all the other stuff. So yeah, if you like that content, it's called It's Been Reviewed and More, so look for that channel. And yeah, if you need help finding it, I also can get you a link to that. All right, get these last screw in and we're good to go. All right, let's flip this thing over and take a look. Pretty sure it's dead. All right, power button's on. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. So power button's on, keyboard's on, and then nothing. Yeah, so it's completely fried. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.